Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to the next episode of the 700 Pelham Road podcast. I don't even know what number episode this is, but all that matters is we're going to a bowl game. So it's the bowl episode. And I'm here with my buddy Jalen
Oh
for another
yeah,
great week.
it's been a great week. As you have already said, year one FBS, we are going bowling, baby. Um, Obviously the waiver got denied, so we were just sitting there on pins and needles, counting down up until all kind of hours of the night. What was that? 2 weekends ago, or yeah, 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Um, but some way somehow the numbers fell pretty much exactly how we need. We got a bonus in Hawaii winning, so that gave us a little buffer because we didn't know how the whole Navy situation was going to play out. But hey, we got in, and I don't care what anybody says about what bowl placement we got. Honestly, we got kind of lucky that CUSA didn't have enough teams otherwise to satisfy tie-ins. So we still got a pretty, decent bowl when all is said and done. We didn't end up with like your mom's pot roast in the crock pot bowl or something. New Orleans Bowl has been around for a good little bit, and it's in New Orleans at Caesar Superdome. So, hey, all in all, for sitting on pins and needles that last week, we came out pretty solid. We no complaints here, none whatsoever.
Yeah. My big concern, after we stayed up so late to watch, the UCLA game, and then I didn't stay up for all of the Hawaii game, but I know you did. Once we knew we were getting in, we started, watching the projections come in, whether it's from, Brett McMurphy, ESPN, 247, like whatever. And it had us all over the place. Some people had us in Boca
Yeah,
Raton. Some people had, which of course is Miami Metro. Some people had us in Charlotte. Obviously, Brett McMurphy's pretty much had us in New Orleans the whole time. So, to get New Orleans, like you said, it's a bowl that's been around for a hot minute. There have been some good matchups in it too. Florida State fans that are salty on Twitter because we beat them 2 years ago, they can say whatever they want, but we're not going to complain. For those of you who don't know, so and you can see down in what'll be the bottom left for you guys, you see the Sidelines Sports Network logo. So Jalen and I run the Sidelines Jack State account. And if you go check out our pinned tweet, we're currently up to almost 150,000 views and over 700 likes, I think. Just because FSU decided they want to talk some hot trash. But no, look, man, I'm excited, and I know we're going. We got a group of us heading down next week for it. I don't remember a time.
yeah.
I really don't remember a time since the national championship game in 2015 in Frisco where the program had this much excitement around it. I mean, I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think we have ever really had another chance to have this much excitement. We had a couple of chances to progress FCS playoffs, and we just didn't handle business. The one I will forever hate the most, I can't remember which year it was. We had Kennesaw State in Jacksonville, and we just couldn't find the end zone. And the crazy thing is, the next week we would have been going to Fargo to try and get our revenge on North Dakota State. And the rumor was that the entire band was going, and that would have been a crazy trip. And I think that could have been a year where we could have tried to make some noise. But yeah, since 2015, we haven't really had a game like this where the entire fan base, the entire team, the entire coaching staff, the university as a whole is just amped up, ready to go. bowl games are a big deal. No matter what people say, like, yeah, you're playing in TUSA, whatever, you were only 8-4. Bowl games are a big deal no matter what. There are teams that have been FBS for, 10, 15, 20 years and either haven't made a bowl game or haven't won a bowl game. So we have a chance to do something, pretty great here coming in year one. And if we come out with a win year one, that would be really cool. So yeah, the program and just seeing how everybody's talking about it on Twitter, how everybody was itching to buy tickets and book hotel rooms, and I love it. I love it for the university. I'm hoping we can keep building on this, and keep going in a positive direction.
Yeah, and one of the big things that we had talked about in previous episodes was the importance of getting to 9 wins in your first year at the FBS level. You look at James Madison last year; they went 9-2, right? We're 8-4 now, with 2 losses by that really, South Carolina and New Mexico State, we had chances to win. And against Liberty and Coastal Carolina, we were in it until the offense just fell apart. So, I don't want to be the guy that says, "Oh, I'm not happy about 9-4 in our first year." If we were to win, but that just tells you how close we already are to being a great program at the FBS level and being one of the next, powers at the G5 level. It all goes to Rich Rod, man. He's built to coach at the FBS level. He knows what it takes. And I said this preseason, even when I thought we'd go, 6-6, 7-5, whatever. I knew that Rich Rod was going to have us, if he stayed past this season, I knew that he was going to have us winning 8, 9, 10 games a year just because he knows what it takes. And here we are, on the doorstep in year one. And not only do we have a chance to win 9 games, we have a chance to win 9 games at the Superdome of all places, like one of the most well-known athletic facilities in the country. So, I'm hoping, for fans, students, maybe who aren't even, big football fans, that, they don't overlook the importance of what this game means next week.
Yeah. And speaking of students, I know there was a lot of frustration and whatnot about there not necessarily being a student package per se put together. But from talking to people, the bowl games, there's a big difference between FCS and FBS, and here's one of them. Where in the FCS, campuses have a lot of say-so in pricing and whatnot. A lot of it boils down to the campus and the host site. In the FBS, when you're talking bowl games, the bowl committee of that specific game controls a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. They give either the schools or the conferences that still haven't gotten a clear picture. They either pay the school or pay the conference a certain amount of money for travel for the football team, staff, equipment, band, and cheerleaders. So, yeah, there's a lot of frustration about there not being a student package. I know JSU was offering a fan bus. You still have to pay $135. They're leaving on like Friday afternoon, so you have to get a hotel room, and you have to still pay, if you want to sit in the JSU section, a minimum of $60. So yeah, when all is said and done, you're looking at a minimum of $300 if you can find, a fairly cheap hotel with, somebody else to split the cost and offset the cost a little bit. So yeah, especially, us not being super certain earlier in the year if we were going to get it, that's a lot of money for students to come up with. If they can't get a late Christmas or an early Christmas present from their family. But all that to say, I think this can be a learning experience both on the university's end of just letting, especially going forward now that we don't have to wait until the last week of the season, just letting students know, hey, we can throw this together, but it's not going to be discounted. You're still going to have to pay, the regular rate that fans are paying, but we can just consolidate everything so that you just pay us, $300, $350, and we'll take care of you. It's just now that we're in the big leagues, it's a lot different, and this was kind of out of JSU's hands. Like I saw another person say, is this is not us going to March Madness. This is not us going to a conference basketball tournament where it's a lot easier to maneuver and put together a bus, and you have much more people ready to go and anticipating to go. So yeah, it's just a learning curve. To the students that are listening, JSU has nothing against you. As much as we all like to come up with conspiracies and stuff, it's just it's new ground that we're all traveling, and there's just a lot of stuff that is truly out of their hands and they can't control. So, hey, if you can show up, I know I've seen a couple of students say they've gotten lucky. Just show up, go crazy, do what you can, and if you can't show up, still support the guy. Trust me, the guys still appreciate it just as much.
Yeah, and another thing on that point is you touched on going forward, not having to wait you know to the end of the season to see if enough teams lose starting next year. That's what we were doing this year. We didn't know where we were going until probably a 24 hours before the bowl was actually announced. I'm sure they informed the university ahead of time, but still, I mean, that's 15 days to have everything planned, get everything booked, have everyone order, reserve their spot on the bus, buy tickets, book a hotel, and have everything in order. I mean, I'll be honest, like it's just, I mean, it's the nature of the situation, right? I mean, imagine if, for instance, we look back at COVID, with the college football playoff. Let's say, like this year, let's say Alabama, if we had COVID, let's say they had a big thing and they couldn't play the playoff, like a week before the semifinal game, and they look at Florida State, you have to go play and you're not ready. It's impossible to get stuff going that quickly. Now that's an extreme scenario, but still, I mean, that's just, imagine that kind of realm, for those kind of programs. That's where we're at, is we are in uncharted territory and we had 2 weeks to get ready. It's just, it's tough. But yeah, to reemphasize, the university's not punishing you guys, students, fans are not. They're not trying to make it hard on you. They're the bowl committee, and honestly, the stadium that hosts the bowl game are the ones who set the market price for ticket prices. I mean, look, Mercedes-Benz, not Mercedes-Benz, Caesars Superdome. Got to get used to the new sponsor, but Caesars Superdome, like it's a 75,000 person dome that is the home of the New Orleans Saints, right? They've held Super Bowls there, Final Fours there. This isn't, this isn't the Evansville Arena for the OVC title. I mean, this is one of the biggest indoor facilities in the country. And so that's just, that's the nature of the situation. So, if you can make it, if you can pony up the money, whether that's driving down there and spending gas, or if that's getting on the bus, do it. All right. Support the program, because, what we show from a fan support standpoint next Saturday will go a long ways in determining, how much commitment, a guy like Rich Rodriguez would have towards our program. Because, he may, late in his career right now, he may be looking, at another program next year and say, hey, they're offering me a lot of money, but JSU supports their program a lot better. And that you would hate to lose a guy like Rich Rod because you don't show up to bowl games because it's not, because you're not getting a student discount. So all that goes to say, show up if you can. And if you don't, watch the game and tweet about it and whatever. So.
Yeah. We're also very lucky to be within driving distance and fairly easy travel distance because not every school gets lucky. Yeah, we were hoping to end up somewhere in the state. Didn't happen. This is one of the next best options. Um, so yeah, like if you can show up, show up. Um, like if you have the means and you're trying to do some whole the university has pissed me off thing, put that aside. Show up. If you have the means, do it. If not, obviously there's no judgment there. But I will say, go ahead and start saving up for next year, because there are two possibilities that will be pretty costly. Um, Next year, the Bahamas Bowl is back in the Bahamas, and that is a Conference USA tie-in. So, depending on how we play next year, very much in play. Back as a tie-in for CUSA next year is the Hawaii Bowl, which if you've never been to Hawaii, I can tell you right now those flights are not cheap. Um, so, obviously that's not one that I would expect a lot of our fans to go to. But both of those, again, not necessarily, right down the road, not cheap options, especially having to take flights. Go ahead and save up now, even if it's just, a little bit at a time. Every little bit helps. That way, whenever we get to it, let's say JSU is able to put together a package, for people, especially if we end up on a flight, if they were able to get, reserve a chunk of a plane for a discounted rate, you'll be able to hop on the flight and go. So yeah, right now we're lucky. We're in a bowl game to begin with, fairly close by. It is what it is. We're all learning. And like I said, the situation will be much clearer next year. Once we hit that magic number, we know we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a frustrating situation to be in, but also it's a really great situation to be in because this is history in the making. Year one, bowl game one at the FBS level for Jacksonville State. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it, and the beauty of, I don't know how many programs can say that their first bowl trip at the FBS level was New Orleans. Um, we'll be able to say that forever. Is our first trip for a bowl game was going to New Orleans and living it up in the Big Easy for a day. Like that's if you're going, take advantage of the opportunity, right? Don't just go to the game and then leave. Go enjoy yourself. That's the whole part of a bowl game. Is it's basically a 2-day, 2 or 3 vacation for you to go have fun, support your team, and enjoy. The area you're in. They don't outside of a handful of bowl games, Montgomery. They don't they don't they don't usually put bowl games in a place that isn't fun. Even in Alabama, like the Birmingham Bowl is right there in Uptown Birmingham, which is a super fun spot. A lot of great food, Top Golf right across the street. Mobile, they play at the new South Alabama Stadium and not at Lad Peoples anymore, which is a disgusting stadium.
Yeah.
But going to a bowl game, it's like a business trip. Enjoy where you're going to be, right? So if you're
Yeah.
a JSU fan and you're heading down, I know Jalen and I will be there. We're not sure exactly where we'll be within the area. That's yet to be decided. But
Yeah.
we'll touch on that a little bit later in the week if it comes to fruition. We don't want to let too many secrets fly.
Just cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. This
Yeah.
could be a pretty cool moment if it happens.
Yeah. If what we're talking about happens, we'll tweet about it and let y'all know. But let us know if you're coming down because we're not trying. Obviously, we're gonna have our friend group. I mean, look, if you're a JSU fan, alumni, student, whoever you may be, coming down, hit us up on Twitter. I'd say hit us up on Facebook, but I don't have our messenger set up yet, so maybe don't do that. But let us know, and we'll try and meet up in the stadium. I mean, this is really a cool
Yeah,
opportunity.
and
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, same. Sadly, we have lives to attend to, and that one over there, he has to graduate on Friday, so we won't be in New Orleans Friday night. Um, we will miss the reception or whatever. But for those of you going or who are going to be in town, definitely go on the JSU athletics pages and stuff. I know the ticket to get into the JSU reception is free. Go ahead and put your name down. Go support the team. Just so they can see, those faces that are there, the night before the big game. But we'll be there all day Saturday.
Yep.
A couple of our friends are staying at the team hotel, which is right down the street from Bourbon Street and all the fun. So we will definitely be in the Big Easy all day Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, definitely come hit us up Saturday during the game. If you're going to be around in town after the game, hit us up. We're just trying to have some fun, enjoy it, living large.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a week to remember for sure. There isn't much to preview about the game, honestly. The first 12 games of the year, I was looking forward. Except for New Mexico State. We previewed every opponent, and that was just we didn't get to record that week because Thanksgiving. But I'll be honest, I really don't care about previewing a bowl matchup. I'm just looking forward to having a fun time, enjoying the game, and look, let's be honest. Unless you're a New Year's Six team or a playoff team, a bowl game is extra football and 15 extra practices to get better. It at the end of the day, yeah, it counts towards your record, but it go have fun. You're not out there winning a championship, right? Go have fun. So I'll be honest, I'm not really trying to preview Louisiana Lafayette, other than I know they're 6-6, and they're an okay team. I mean, the Sun Belt's a tough conference, so you don't really know what to think about 6-6. But we're favored. I mean, it's our first bowl matchup, and we're favored.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, Lafayette is not far from New Orleans, so it's really kind of a home game for them. And I guarantee you they'll have more people at the game than we will. So the fact that we're favored, pretty impressive. So I'm going to take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. I was, just looking over some general stats with them. Like you said, 6-6 in the Sun Belt is not necessarily a super clear picture. It's not at all like looking at 6-6 in Conference USA. So we can't just walk in going, we have 2 more wins on under our belt than they do, because some of the competition that they have played is tougher than what we've played. Like, just being straight up honest, we always want to lift up Conference USA, but some of the competition that Louisiana has played is a little bit stiffer than what we've had to face. That being said, I still think we can go in there and win. I want us to go in there and win, because all of y'all that keep up with us pretty regularly, y'all have seen the drama between the Sun Belt and Conference USA on Twitter, the past couple of weeks. If we go and lose, they're going to go, oh, Louisiana was 10th overall in the conference and y'all couldn't even beat them. Yeah, y'all don't belong. We won't hear the end of it.
No.
We need to go in there. I honestly, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I don't want us to just win. I want us to dominate. That way, they can't come back and say, oh, well, you just barely won. If we run that back, they would beat you 9 times out of 10. No, I need us to go in there come out hot, take care of business, and just pedal to the metal the whole time. That way they can look at us and go, well, maybe when your grant of rights deal is up, maybe we can talk shop. Because I know a lot of JSU fans want to end up in Sun Belt. I would love it, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, we really have an opportunity to do something really big next weekend, and I think we can do it. That being said, I think we could be sitting at 12-0 right now, or 13-0 right now, which we could have. I think we can win every week, so it's all a matter of just taking care of the business in front of you. And as we have seen, Rich Rod generally has these boys ready to come out every week and just take care of the team that is sitting in front of them.
Yeah, and you keep saying that we have a chance to win and win big. If someone will crack Zion across the head with an aluminum bat before the game, I think we have a bigger chance of winning.
Dude, that man always needs that one big hit. Like, there are some quarterbacks where, especially mobile quarterbacks, they need to get out of the pocket and take that one like big hit to kind of wake them up and get going. He's one of those players. Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts is one of those players. Zion is the same way. He needs to get out of the pocket and take that one big hit where everybody's like, that man is dead. And then all of a sudden, he goes to the sideline. They do their mandatory, are you okay? What day is it? What's your name? And he somehow passes, comes back out, and just turns into like Tom Brady. I need it. I need him to take that one big hit and just wake up and go.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I mean, we saw, I think it was, I want to say it was Western Kentucky game. He looked like he suffered at least 3 concussions that night and supposedly threw up on the sidelines heading into halftime, and then came out and played probably the best game of his career. So,
yeah, I'm telling you, some quarterbacks just need to get hit.
Yeah, and like I'm telling you, if someone will just crack him across the head with a baseball bat, he will be fine. You won't even have to. He doesn't even have to get hit in the game. He's ready to go.
Yeah. All love to Zion and all of our seniors, man. This is huge for them. Their last game in a Gamecock uniform will be in a bowl game, the first bowl game for the university. So, I mean, that's absolutely huge for them. Speaking of playing a lot of games, Jeremiah Harris tied Stevonte Tullis in the New Mexico State game. I think it was, 57 games played?
Yeah, that sounds right.
This bowl game, if he plays in this bowl game, which it's looking like he will, he will break the record. He will break the record for most games played, at JSU. And that just to come in and go through a coaching change and a regime change and a culture change and, see it through and keep playing at that high level and kind of, be a leader and, bridging that gap. That's huge. So a big shout out to him. Also, big shout out to all of our, conference, all conference players. I know we had one All-American. I can't remember his name. We had one, I think he was a first team All-American, and he won Offensive Guard of the Year. Let me check, because I posted about it on our page. Let me find it. Find it real quick. I'm scrolling through all of this nonsense. Clay Webb, he got All-American first team, and he won the College Football Network Guard of the Year. So huge shout out to Clay Webb. Somehow, even with winning Guard of the Year and All-American first team, he ended up conference second team. I think somebody's playing favorites when it comes to the conference teams, because how a man ended up All-American first team and won Guard of the Year, but second team in the conference, something's a little suspicious there. But we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, between that and just racking up all of the recognitions and the awards. It's been a good year. I still think Zach Alley should have been nominated for the Broyles, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if us not being fully eligible played into that. I don't know if it affects coaches and award season too, because I know technically our stats don't count. Like if you were to look at the FBS stats for this season, you will not see Jacksonville State technically, because we weren't fully eligible. So maybe that has something to do with it. If so, he'll just turn around and win it next year or get nominated next year. But yeah, I mean, huge season. Major props to our seniors. The only one of the biggest like kind of disappointments, but also it is what it is we will be without Mr. Automatic. As he entered the transfer portal, and Rich Rod is very much by the book. He said if you're gonna be with the Gamecocks, you got to be with them 100% or you're out. So AK will not be the kicker for the bowl game, so don't be surprised when you see somebody else kicking the ball off and taking the extra points and the field goal attempts. And hey, be gracious if he misses. This is a pretty big spot to just get thrown on, and you're the guy. This is essentially a mini tryout for next year. Don't it, I don't care even if he were to miss like a potentially game tying or game winning field goal. Don't just be gracious.
Yeah.
It's a big game and we're lucky to be here. But yeah, we appreciate everything Alan Karajic did for the program. I wish him the best wherever he ends up. I've heard that an early rumor is possibly Tennessee. He's from Chattanooga, and Tennessee is very much in need of a kicker. I could see it. But yeah, very appreciative of everything he's done. He gave us one of the most iconic moments of the season when that man slipped and still hit a 41-yarder. So yeah, we won't have him in the bowl game. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked. But yeah, I'm really excited. New Orleans, year one. Who would have thought?
If you had told me, when we did that podcast, preseason, and we were asked about our our predictions, if you had told me that we were going to end up, sneaking into a bowl game and our first one in program history be New Orleans, I would have taken it to the bank. So the fact that we're here, man, I mean, we're basically a week out. It's crazy to say, but it really feels like it's just the beginning. I feel like this is going
Oh
to be an
yeah,
every year occurrence now.
100%. Like you were saying, as long as Rich Rod sticks around, we are at minimum going to a bowl game every year. And it'll be easier from here on out. We don't have to worry about waivers. We didn't go the litigation route. Looking at you, you know who you are.
Them
And
other
also
people.
Florida State now. But yeah, no, we're the fact that if Rich Rod sticks around, we're looking at a bowl game every year. It'll be fun. I hope the fans that are going truly, especially if you're going ahead of time, and if you're staying at the team hotel or in the city, like Caleb was saying, get out, go do things. New Orleans is a very rich city.
Yeah.
There's tons of art. There's tons of history. There's so much, even just walking around, looking at the old architecture, listening to the music. Because I'm going to tell you, there will be these little bands just set up on, all kinds of side streets and corners and stuff. Truly just enjoy it. Yeah, it smells a little bit Who cares? You're on the river. Just
You're under the river,
drink
actually.
drink some magic juice, and suddenly you won't think about anything else.
Um, my friend Kevin Lunsford would recommend the grenades for any of you people going. Get a grenade.
Oh God. Oh God. And then of course when you're in New Orleans, if you go to New Orleans and you have the time and you do not go to Cafe Du Monde and get beignets, something is absolutely wrong with you. I
You
don't
need
care if you're on a
asylum.
diet. I don't care if you're on a diet. It's a cheat day. Go get you some beignets and make yourself happy. You can't go to New Orleans and not. But
Simply.
honestly, a lot of good food down there.
Yep.
Um, you're right there on the Gulf. Seafood is a must. Unless you're allergic, obviously, I'll give you a pass. Um, but seafood is a must. You got to, go to some of those hole in the wall restaurants. Uh, you can Google, hit the message boards, the forums, ask people that live in New Orleans or have been. There's plenty of great places to eat. Don't just go to McDonald's and Burger King. Go get you some good food while you're down there. Um, and if you have the extra time, like I said, there's ghost walks, there's museums, there's art, you name it. Just truly immerse yourself in the culture and have fun.
I will say, disclaimer: do not go to walk-ons. They exist all over the place. Don't
Yeah,
go to walk-ons.
yeah, it's a chain.
It's
It's a
great
chain.
food. It's great food, but if you need recommendations, DM us on Twitter. My boss is from New Orleans. He's a native. I'll tell you where to go. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's going to be this. We thought South Carolina was a great trip. This is going to be on a whole new level. So I don't know about you,
Oh
man,
yeah.
but I
Um.
need it to be next week already.
Oh, same. But also, I'm kind of just ready to enjoy the bowl season as is.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Big Conference USA bowl game. We have our first conference New Year's Six game. Our good friends over at Liberty managed to sneak in by the hair of their chin, just above SMU. Um, and they got into the New Year's Six game. They're playing the Oregon Ducks in the Fiesta Bowl. Um, so big props to them. Always want our conference to do well, especially in bowl games. I don't care what people say about know for conference mates. Obviously, whenever we're playing them, we want a sweep. Anything to gain credibility for our conference, we want it. Go out and beat everybody. Um, there's only one school, even when they join our conference, I will not root for. I won't root
Yeah,
against them, but I will not root for them. And if you're a Duck State fan, you know who it is. Um, but yeah, Liberty. I hope y'all go out there and kill it. The other New Year's Six bowls, we got some good matchups. Obviously, we have
yeah.
the rejects playing down in the Orange Bowl. Um, neither team is happy to be there. One of them has more of a legitimate gripe than the other. Um, but yeah, Georgia and Florida State are playing each other, so that'll be interesting to see. That is a really big chance for Florida State to go 2017 UCF and beat Georgia and claim that they're the national champions. Um, we'll see how that plays out. Um, and for all you people hating on Alabama, they deserve to be in. They beat the number one team. Of course, you go from 8-4 if you beat the number one team. Why Texas jumped from 7-3, I do not know.
Oh,
I don't know. So we just gonna settle that. Alabama deserves to be in. Texas does not. Florida State should be in. Texas should not. It doesn't matter, though, because now that they're in, Nick Saban is going to sell his soul to the devil, walk away with this championship some way, somehow, because Michigan is probably the most favorable matchup they could have drawn. And hopefully every football fan gets what they want, and we get round 3 of Bama, Texas in the national championship game, which we know how Saban is with revenge games. That man is damn near perfect when it comes to revenge games in the same season. We remember the last time he played a revenge game in the national championship. It wasn't so pretty for LSU. So, yeah, bowl games aplenty. I think Mizzou managed to sneak into a New Year's Six.
Yeah, they got Ohio State.
They were a sneaky good team in the SEC this year. And obviously this year there were some teams on the outside looking in. This would have been the year for a 12-team playoff. But we can thank the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 for saying no. Otherwise, it would have happened this year. And watch, next year we'll end up with 2 really good teams and then 10. I guess they're okay. But, that's for another year, I guess.
Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day, I think it's the best week, the best month really of sports when it's all said and done. I think, we got bowl games, college basketball. After Christmas, most conferences will start conference play the week after Christmas. And then obviously NBA really kicking into gear. The in-season tournament popping off. So outside of the fact that we do not have baseball, we've got everything else that we could ask for right now.
Softball's about to start too.
Yeah, softball will start in February. Baseball will start in late February. So it's a busy month.
Speaking of other sports, we are not just going bowling and football. We are literally bowling our way to the top of the polls. Our women's bowling team is number one in the nation right now. And if you're like women's bowling team, yeah, we didn't have one before this season. So it's that crazy that we hop on the scene and snatch, number one on the podium for the fall section. The way their season works, they have a fall segment and they have a spring segment. We ran away with the fall segment. We had 2 tournament titles and I know 1 second place finish. So those women are absolutely killing it. I cannot wait to see what they do in the spring. And hopefully they finish the back half just as strong as the front half and come away with a title in year 1. That would be absolutely insane, and that would just be more props for Greg Seitz, who is pound for pound one of the best athletic directors in the country.
Without a doubt.
That man, you sit here and wonder, how can JSU progress? And then he somehow pulls out of his hat names you don't even think about. Ray Harper, nobody saw that coming. Rich Rod popped out of literally nowhere. Whenever Rich Rod was announced, people were like, wait, what? Yeah, Seitz. And then he goes and gets arguably the best bowling coach, in college bowling. Obviously, most of us are not super well versed in that, but that man did his research and he went and got the right woman for the job. And then, of course, keeping Coach McGinnis and giving her everything she needs. I can't remember the baseball coach's name, but he went out and found him. Dude is amazing, and we're lucky to have him. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think Jack State athletics would be in the state it's in right now.
We would. And, like you mentioned, it's not that he's made great hires, it's that he's made great hires with candidates that realistically we should not be in play for. We're a 9,500 person university with an athletic budget that is close to last in the FBS.
Yeah, I think there's only one below us, one maybe two below us as far as our budget goes. So we are making a lot out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean we have a guy who's been within a game of the national championship twice coaching football, who's also beaten Chip Kelly and Marcus Mariota multiple times.
Yeah.
We've got Ray Harper, who is going to get a chance to whoop up on his former school a lot now. Obviously, we have a baseball coach who just finished at Missouri and was pretty solid there. And on top of that, we mentioned bowling. There's no reason that a first-year program should ever be ranked number one in the country, but it's all because we have the best bowling coach in the. I think she has 7 national championships under her belt.
Something like that.
And she's coaching at Jacksonville State. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for what I want to talk about. I'm just, like I said, very happy of the state we're in for this bowl game. And just if you didn't catch what I said earlier, yes, the Southerners will be in New Orleans. One of our friends that is still in the van told us they are leaving Thursday. So they'll be down there, I think, Thursday night. I'm assuming they're leaving like Thursday afternoon, so they'll be down there Thursday night, all day Friday, and then they'll be there for the game, and then they're coming back, right after the game. So I guess we'll trade that off for not having them in South Carolina. But they're supposed to be doing pregame, and I think they'll be doing either one or two parts of the show at halftime. So it won't be a full show, but it'll still be great to have them in the stands and just give them some more TV exposure, which is always nice.
Yeah, man, getting the Southerners on national TV one more time this year going to be great. And like you said, they didn't get to go to South Carolina. They went to Middle Tennessee State, which weekday game, Murfreesboro didn't get back till I think about 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was stupid late. I think, you give them that, take away South Carolina. This is a pretty good trade-off, getting 2 nights in New Orleans. And Friday, I would assume, is basically just a free day for them because all they're going to have is probably a pep rally.
They'll probably have a pep rally, and maybe a walkthrough in the stadium.
Maybe,
but that'll be a great opportunity for them to just be able to explore and have fun. Obviously, they will get the talk, but on steroids. For those of you who don't know what the talk is, both of us were in Southerners, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Before every big trip to a big city, especially when we would get per diem,
yep.
There's always a talk at the practice before the trip of not ingesting any substances because it is a school
None
trip.
of these.
Even if you're 21, you're not allowed. Everybody abides by those rules. Everybody abides by those rules. It's one of those where you just have to be smart. Don't get in trouble. Don't get caught. Don't be stupid. No posting it on your Snapchat story or Facebook. Louisville.
It comes down to one thing: be good or be good at it.
Yeah, basically. Because I can tell you there was never a trip where there weren't substances around.
And they know that.
And so, with this being New Orleans of all cities, I'm sure that talk will be a big one. So hopefully, they know how to control themselves. They have fun. They come back, and there's no stories about somebody having to get bailed out Saturday morning before the game.
That would be, we mentioned in our chat for all these road trips. I will redact the name of who suggested it, but someone asked if we should get some Southerners kicked out of band on Friday night.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it won't be hard in New Orleans.
Luckily, me and you won't be down there Friday night, so we can't get them in any trouble.
Yeah, we will be in Hattiesburg safely at a safe distance from getting Southerners in trouble.
Yeah. Hopefully they keep themselves out of trouble. But yeah, they'll get the talk. I'm not sure where they're staying. If I'm sure it's not the team hotel because there's 550 of them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll be fine. I hope they all, take this experience in. We've had a couple of great trips and opportunities. So I love that they get to go and they get to create these memories with each other. And just repeating what we said earlier, for those of y'all that are going, I hope you also just enjoy yourself and allow yourself to have fun and just relax for a little bit. It's a vacation. Don't think about work. Don't think about anything else unless it's, important and pressing. Just enjoy the city. It's a great city to be in. And yeah, it's not, taken for granted that we get to play in the bowl game and be in that kind of environment. So definitely live it up, have fun, support the team, go crazy.
Yeah, man. It's going to be awesome.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got. So, all right. Well, from the 700 Pelham Road podcast, like I said, I don't know what number episode this is. I stopped caring. It's the bowl episode, and that's what really matters. So, we're going to sign off. And you will probably not hear from us again throughout December. You may get one the week before Christmas to recap the bowl game. I can't promise that because y'all know that the holidays are a busy time of the year. But once the New Year's is here, you're going to be getting a lot of content from us. You're going to be hearing all about basketball and softball and baseball. Probably hear a pretty good bit about all the spring sports. And if everything goes well, you might be getting some extra content from some basketball events if we're able to get what we think we're going to be able to get. I'll let slip that we are looking into getting some JSU media credentialing for basketball games. No guarantee we're going to get it, but we are looking into it. So don't get your hopes up. But if you see us on the court, pre and post game, there you go. So anyway, from the 700 Pelham Road podcast, we are signing off, and we will see you all here in a couple weeks.